Hi, my friends. I hope you're doing well today. It's Tim, your Bible answer man, and I'm happy today. I hope you are too, as we journey through the Bible one day at a time. Our reading for today was in Judges chapter 18 and 19. Maybe you've noticed I've called this one the Happy Priests, because God just wants us to be happy. Isn't that right? I know the story is a true story of a very well known Christian singer who found her true love, her soulmate, who unfortunately did not happen to be the man she was married to at the time, and went to ask counsel of her pastor. And that was the advice of her pastor. God just wants you to be happy. And yeah, if leaving your husband and going with this other man is gonna make you happy, that must be God's will for you too. Unfortunately, I wish I could just say, well, that's show business, but there are many Christians today who have the same idea of God and His will for us. And if that's true, this chapter shows us many people who are completely in line with the will of God. The story begins in chapter 17 with a Levite who's wandering through Israel. Now, the Levites have been given Levite cities, and apparently one of those did not make him happy, and so he ended up wandering through Ephraim and ended up in the home of a man named Micah with a big promotion. And the Bible says he was now content because he became a priest. Now, he was not of the descendants of Aaron, like the Bible requires, but that was a small detail to our Levite. Now he's a priest of a family, and he has idols that he can use to do some religious things. But it also turns out in this chapter, he was not the only Israelite who was not happy with what the Lord had given him. There was a whole tribe of Dan. And as this chapter begins, we read the inheritance had not fallen to them. In other words, the Canaanites didn't just pack up and leave. Now, the Lord had given them their territory, but He also required them to drive out the Canaanites. And if they don't just leave, then go to war with them, destroy their cities, and that whole wicked, violent, idolatrous Canaanite way of life. So it's going to be difficult to do this, and they're looking for an easier inheritance. And so what they did was they sent out 5 spies, look in different places around the land, find us a place where we can settle that's easier. And they found this man Micah and his priest and his paraphernalia that he was using. And since he was a priest, they asked him, ask counsel of God about where we should go. And I love the priest's answer. He said, go in peace, before the Lord is your way. And maybe he crossed himself or did something religious. I don't know, but that's the kind of priest that he was. Go ahead, God's with you. Go with God. And so they went out. They found a town called Laish. It's actually about 100 miles north of their original territory. And they went back and reported to the men of Dan, and we found just the spot. There's no walls to this city. They're isolated. There's only a few people there. We can just move in and take over. It'll be easy pickings. And that's what they decided to do. They sent out 600 of their toughest soldiers. They headed north to take control of this city. And on their way, they went through Ephraim, which you would do, and right past the house of Micah. And the spies mentioned to the men who were in the army, did you know that there in these houses an ephod, household idols, a carved image, a molded image? Consider what you should do. Well, what they should do is just steal them, and that's what they did. In verse 17, it says, the 5 men that went up to spy out the land went up and came in thither and took the graven image and the ephod and the teraphim and the molded image and just went off with it. Of course, the priest was there saying, what do you think you're doing? I mean, this is my stuff that I use to so-called worship. And their answer in verse 19 was, hey, be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for thee to be a priest unto the house of one man, or that thou be a priest unto a tribe and a family in Israel? And the priest's heart was glad. So the stolen idols went with the soldiers, and now their new priest of the tribe goes with them. They did drive out the original residents who were there, set up their own city, and worshipped this idol that they have. And so, first we have an individual who had an idol that he was worshiping. Now we have a whole tribe in Israel who's worshiping this worthless idol, the first tribe to go into idolatry. But the priest is happy, the Danites are happy, God must be happy too, right? Except he's not. Revelation chapter 7, when we get to the end of the Bible, and God is showing what's going to happen in the future as he restores Israel to faith in their Messiah, Jesus. God's choosing 144,000 Jewish evangelists to do the job. There are 12 tribes named, 12,000 out of each tribe. And as the list of tribes is named, there's one name missing. And that name that's missing is the tribe of Dan, the first tribe to lead the people into idolatry. Now, God was not pleased. And more than that, in Psalm 16 and verse 11, we read, "Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." You see, the problem with so many Christians today, and with this Levite and with the Danites, is not that they're seeking happiness too much, but they're settling for too little. The greatest joy you can know and the greatest pleasure you can know in this life are not going to be with the right mate or the right place to live or the right occupation or the things of this world, but it's in knowing the Lord, coming to his will for your life. In thy presence is fullness of joy, and at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. I wish for you the greatest pleasure you can know on this earth, and it's a relationship with God. Meditate on that today, will you, my friends? And get into the Word. We'll finish Judges tomorrow. Our reading is in Judges 20 and 21. And I'm looking forward to being back with you again. Have a great day, folks. See you soon.